Hello everyone, welcome to Clean Copper Talks. In this video, we will see what is deep sea mining. We'll see a world map wherein which all minerals are deposited in which part of world. We'll see that. We'll see what are nodules, polymagnetic nodules associated with deep seabed mining. We'll see what are the uses and status of different mineral deposition in India with respect to world. What are the impacts of deep seabed mining and what is ISA International Seabed Authority? There are certain anecdotes associated with deep sea mining, such as green economy, profit sharing, and depths of unknown, that we will discuss. And finally, we'll conclude and we'll show the references used for making this video. So stay till the last. So deep sea mining is relatively a new term and it is also a controversial term because many people are in the favor of deep sea mining, many people are against deep sea mining. What all those things, why people are against or for deep sea mining, that we will see in the coming slides. But deep sea mining basically is a process wherein minerals such as cobalt, copper, nickel, iron, zinc are extracted from the seabed. Now, when we say seabed, that means these minerals are deposited at the depths much more than 200 meters, sometimes 1000, 3000, 6000, or even more. So, working at such depth is very difficult, and extracting minerals from that depth is a challenge, and that's why there are some pros and cons associated with deep seabed mining. We will see all those things in coming slides. So basically, deep sea mining is extraction of minerals from the seabed. Okay, so why we need deep sea mining is because of resource availability. All the minerals which are available on the land, many of them has been extracted. Many of them are at the verge of being exhausting. So we need new resources and deep sea beds are unexplored deposition of minerals, so therefore that can serve as a vast source for such minerals. Diversification of resource supply, we need more resources than one. We need not to be dependent on a single resource, therefore we should look after other resources also, and in such case deep sea mining may prove to be very helpful. Growing demand of metal with respect to time, as people as population is increasing, industrialization is taking place, more demand for such metals are arising, and therefore we need more resources. It is a good economic opportunity if you have certain metal deposited at vast or at large quantity, then it becomes economically very helpful to extract metals from such places. Now, one verdict also says that there will be reduced environmental impact on land. However, this is not a very clear point because we truly don't know what could be the associated impacts of deep sea mining, and therefore this is a controversial point. But yeah, this can be considered. And last point, that approximately 20% of the metals are recycled from the scrap and electronic waste, so that means 80% is being abandoned or goes into waste. Therefore we need new resources, and hence these are the points why we need deep sea mining. So this is a world map wherein you can see where are the deposition of which metals. The yellow represents cobalt, orange represents sulphides, uh, blue represents polymetallic nodules. Polymetallic nodules can consist of different metals such as cobalt, nickel, iron, copper, zinc, and white is exclusive economic zone. So these are the gray ones is a country's land area such as India. Now around India or any country or any land piece, you can see there is a white area. White area is exclusive economic zone. Exclusive economic zone is for any country. Suppose if this is India, so the white area surrounding India is its exclusive economic zone. So in that zone, it is in the sea. in that zone in the sea, if any activity takes place, then you have to take the permission of Indian government. So other country cannot explore, cannot pass through, cannot, their ships cannot go through exclusive economic zone of other country until and unless they have not taken permission from that country. Okay, so exclusive, if even if you are trying to do exploration, mineral mining, then you have to take permission from that particular country if you are working in its that exclusive economic zone. But now, what about the area other than exclusive economic zone, the rest light blue ones? So from these area you can do mining, mineral minings. But then again, there are many questions about profit sharing, who will do mining and all those things. Uh, let's see further. So this is a sketch which typically showing the environmental and social impacts associated with deep sea bed mining. Now suppose this is a surface, land surface, where you have some industry, you want to explore, you want to do mining of minerals from this seabed. So what you will need, you will essentially need a ship from where some kind of instrument, some kind of technique or excavator or a mining apparatus goes to the seabed and does excavation, mining of minerals for you and send it back to the ship from where it can be taken back to the land. But this process is not as easy as it appears right now, because first thing, the seabed is not as flat or as uniform as it is shown here. Seabed is highly undulated, it is highly varying, and we don't know, like sudden slopes, sudden up, sudden down, a lot of changes in the terrain, in the seabed terrain. And uh, we also don't know that this strata is very hard or soft. If it is hard, if it will be able to bear the weight of techniques or equipments deployed over there or not. So these are some questions which makes it difficult. Second thing, the depth. Here it is visible, but this depth can range up to 3000 6000 meters deep beneath the surface of water. So going at such depth is itself a difficult task. And now when you do a mining or excavation activity, there will be some byproducts, there will be some waste products. Now you don't want to take all those waste products up here, so you will discard those waste in the surrounding nearby area only, which can create other nuisance, it can create turbidity. And then, okay, fine, if you are able to overcome these challenges also, then again sending of your mineral ore at the surface of water surface from the depth of around 3000 or 6000 meters is a very uh, challenging task, and it will take huge amount of energy. So all these are some challenges. There are many more challenges associated with deep sea mining as well, such as deep sea is a vast ecosystem, and the origin of life has, it is said that it is started from the sea. We don't know what all these things are, what all the ecosystem or things are over there at the bed of sea, and therefore it is not suitable that we should plan to do some disturbances over there, because we don't know the associated impacts it will have on our lives. Anyway, so these are the polymetallic uh, nodules which you will see if you are able to go to the seabed. These are some rock like structure. Essentially what happens is the minerals such as iron, cobalt, copper, zinc, they undergo oxidation or some other reactions, and over the time they form a layer over it, and that's why it appears to look like this. So nodules, I just showed you the picture of nodules. Nodules may contain high grade of manganese, nickel, cobalt, copper, zinc, or lithium. Now the process of formation of these nodules is very slow, and it takes millions of years. It is estimated that it takes around 2 to 10 millimeter of development for per million years. So it is a very time taking slow process, and therefore you need a vast knowledge, proper research before working on this. aims. They can be found on the abyssal plains of three large oceanic basins: the Indian Basin, the Indian Ocean, Pacific, and Atlantic Ocean. So now, what are the various metals uh, which are expected to be extracted from the seabed, and what are their deposition or status in India and uh, with respect to world? So if we talk about nickel, we don't have any nickel deposition or cobalt deposition, and we are totally dependent on the import from different countries. It is why I'm talking about India. Since we are in India, we are talking about India. For copper, we have around 4.3 metric ton, a million tons of deposition, and the world has around 140 million tons deposition. For manganese, we have good enough deposition of 142 million tons, and overall in world it is 540 million tons. While for iron, we have around 8.08 billion tons iron ore, and the world has around 160 billion tons of ore. So this is the status of deposition of metals in India, and hence for India perspective, we need to import some of the metals, and hence it will be profitable for India as well if we are able to locate some other resources for such minerals, which for which we won't be dependent on other countries. Now, these are the activities because of which the different uh, land mass or the sea bed or the transportation water column will get affected. And as you can see, for all the activities, sea floor is definitely going to affect it, because anyway the work is going to happen at the sea floor, and likewise for some of the activities land will also get affected. Now, what is International Seabed Authority? It is a sole organization or a body responsible for for taking decisions about seabed extraction or any other major happening taking place in a sea area. So, International Seabed Authority (ISA) for last 25 years has been the sole deciding authority on exploration licenses, reviewing the environmental impact assessment, and ensuring sufficient monitoring of mining activities in the area. Now, this area is defined as the seabed and the ocean floor and the subsoil thereof beyond the limits of national jurisdiction. So, these are the area which is beyond the jurisdiction of any particular nation. No nation has right over those areas. So, ultimately, Seabed Authority or International Seabed Authority is the one which decides what to be done, how the uh, process has to take place, what are the different distribution of activities and profits, and all those things are decided by International Seabed Authority. Now there are different anecdotes related to deep sea mining, like how it should be good or it should not be good, if profit sharing is to be there, how it should be shared, and all those things. So some of those are listed over here. So some of the saying is that deep sea mining can be a green economy in the blue world. That means it can be a green it can be a source of vast resources in the blue world, and it can act as a alternative sources other than those present in the land. It can help us, the human society, to develop economically, financially, and it will help ultimately the human society, such as how, like, it has potential to have fewer needs of vast infrastructure and transport system, roads to mining site, deforestation, large on-site buildings, and polluted nearby waterways would be avoided in deep sea. Additionally, deep sea mining means fewer social and economic impact on human population, with less displacement of indigenous people in close proximity to mining sites, and hazard to personnel would be smaller or even non-existent. It may turn out to be a favorable alternative to terrestrial mining. Ultimately, it is saying that this group is in favor of deep sea mining. It can help us in a lot of ways, such as the mining process which takes place in earth. It has a lot of impacts, that we need to clear the forest, we need to propose the land routes, we need to develop necessary infrastructure, and the people located in the nearby areas need to be shifted to some other place. In such a way, there are a lot of impacts of any mining activity taking place in a land area, and therefore if we are able to find some mining area which is not located on land, which is located on the sea, then all these effects can be avoided, and therefore deep sea mining should be taken place, and it will also help us financially. So this is one of the thinking about deep sea mining. What is the other thinking is that how the profit will be shared. Suppose we are able to develop some technique, some efficient technique from which we are able to do extraction and mining of minerals from the deep sea, then how that profit will be shared. Because for land we know that okay, this is India land, so Indian government is responsible, Indian government is the authority, this is particular country's land, so that country is authority. But what about the ocean area? No one is having right on the ocean area, and it is equally the right of every people. So some thinking is that the profit sharing should be done equally among all the countries. And not only profit sharing, when you are saying that when you are saying about profit sharing equally, that does not means only the financial or the monetary point, but also the sharing of idea and techniques which are used to do excavation and mining activities, especially with those underdeveloped and developing countries, because they don't have such techniques. And if you are able to if you are able to develop such a technique, then it should necessarily be shared with developed or developing countries. Okay, and these are also mentioned in the laws of United Nations convention laws on seabed authorities. Okay, so what it says that ISA has the responsibility of governing these resources as institution under the UN, representing the will of global population. And not only does the ISA controls the exploration and potential future exploitation, but they are also in charge of ensuring that deep seabed mining regime becomes a space of equal participation where profits derived from the seabed are shared equally across all countries. So this is another um, thinking that if any such activity takes place, then the profit sharing should be done equally with all the countries. And when I said profit sharing, does not only means the sharing of money or financial aid, but other associated techniques as well. So this is another theory or the thinking that says that deep sea mining should not be done because it is a depth of unknown. We don't know what all things are there, how ecology or ecological system or the ecosystem at such a depth is present, and what impact it may have on human society if we are able to disturb them. Because some of the theories of origin of life tells us that the life started from sea, and if those things are unexplored, those things are some places, the seabed at the depth of 6,000, 7,000 meters below the water surface are something which has been unexplored and not affected by the human activities. And if we do disturb them as well, then it can certainly have negative impact on human society, on the life at land, and therefore it should not be disturbed. The point of departure for this narrative is that deep sea, making up 95% of the ocean, constitutes the most massive set of ecosystems on earth and is fundamental to sustaining both terrestrial and marine life. Environmental impact from deep seabed mining exploitation in this poorly understood ecosystem remains highly uncertain. It is still too hard to prove that industrial scale mining would not cause harm or risk detrimental to ecological or social effects, and therefore it is said that deep sea mining should not be done. The seabed should be left as it is without disturbing the ecology or the um aquatic life over there. So conclusion is that seabed is a resource to rich and vast ecosystem. Seabed can be sourced to various metals. Exploration and mining of minerals from seabed is still undeciphered. Still, we don't know what techniques will be required and what impact it may have. Impact of commercial scale mining is not known and therefore should be left undisturbed. So this was about deep sea mining. These are the references which I took to prepare this lecture. Hope you like the video. If yes, please subscribe to the channel so that I can keep making more videos for you. Thank you.